I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your hosting, Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started with the No Half Step in hockey coverage, first let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. And once you're getting educated about the show, click on that merchandise tab and take straight to our classic logo t-shirt and all of the gimmicks that you've come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck. Socks, throw pillows, wall art, it's all in our online store. The best way to say it is that we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent operation, so here's how you can jump in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also find us on X and Threads. So whatever it is you prefer as far as social media platforms go, you can find us there, and we sure could use the support. It helps us out a lot. It doesn't take you but a second. It doesn't cost you a single thing, but it goes a long way to helping an independent operation like the Renegades of Puck. You can find the podcast on YouTube this season, so we'd appreciate if you'd follow along and subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on those notification buttons, and find out when the latest content, the latest episodes, the latest videos of our channel comes out and gets posted. The Renegades of Puck podcast posts an episode for each and every game of the entire Nashville Predators schedule. So please check us out over there on YouTube. If you'd like to support the show, we have a virtual tip jar sitting right over here on the desk. You can scan that QR code at any time during the show, or you can just go to Venmo and you can search out Renegades of Puck. If we get going on a good rant, we make a good point, or you just want to support independent hockey coverage here in the Tennessee area, you're always welcome to make a donation, and every single one of those dollars goes a long way and completely to helping the Renegades of Puck. Now listen, I know it's time to get to the No Half Step in hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. Time for operation number 921. That's right. Time for show number 921. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 8th place in the Central Division after 10 games played. That's right, for you stoners that do stoner math, that's 1/8 of the season is already complete. 10 games in the books. The Predators have a record of 3-6-1, 7 points. Has the Preds 11 points behind the Winnipeg Jets, who are first place in the Central Division, has them 3 points behind their next opponent, the Colorado Avalanche, in the Central Division. We'll update the entirety of the division here in just a second. On home ice, which is where the Predators' next game will take place. The Predators have a record of 2-5-0. They've scored just 24 goals in the season. They've given up 36. That's a goal differential of -12. Now, let's talk about the Central Division and its most latest standings update. The Winnipeg Jets continue on in first place after their first 10 games played. They have a record of 9-1, 18 points, has them 4 points clear of the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild, who are in second and third place, respectively. Then the Utah Hockey Club finds themselves with 12 points in fourth place. The Nashville Predators' next opponent, the Colorado Avalanche, are in fifth place with 10 points. The St. Louis Blues also have 10 points in sixth. The Blackhawks jump the Preds by process of tiebreakers, 7 points for each of those teams. So the Blackhawks in seventh, the Nashville Predators back in last place. Now, once the Predators wrap up this game against the Colorado Avalanche, Monday they will host the LA Kings, Wednesday at Washington, Thursday at Florida, so a road back-to-back coming up the middle of next week. And then on the 9th of November, the Utah Hockey Club comes to Bridgestone Arena, formerly known as the Arizona Coyotes. The first time we will see the Utah Hockey Club here at Bridgestone Arena. And for somebody who grew up in the original Six era and an original Six city, it is very strange to me to be talking about St. Louis, Utah, Seattle, all of these different growing and emerging markets. That's right, I made a joke about St. Louis being an emerging market in the NHL. So the Nashville Predators then on the 11th of November will go off to Colorado to face off against this same Avalanche team. So let's talk about that season series between the Preds and the Avalanche. It's a 4-game series between Central Division rivals. The first game is obviously the one that we are previewing currently, and then on the 11th of November, the Predators are in Colorado for the first time. Go back a month later on the 14th of December, back to Denver to face off against the Avalanche again, and then on February the 22nd of 2025, that's when the Predators will host the Colorado Avalanche for the final time at Bridgestone Arena this regular season, and the final time they will play unless they find themselves in a best-of-7 series later on down the road. Now, let's talk about this Colorado Avalanche team for just a moment. Started off the season rough, have balanced things out just a little little bit. Now, after 11 games played, 5-6-0, 10 points, has them 5th place in the Central Division. They're 3-1 on the road. 38 goals for, 46 goals against. It's a goal differential of -8. When we talk about their most recent stretch of action, they've actually had a decent little road trip going there. On the 22nd of October, a 3-2 win at Seattle, and then on the 24th, a 5-1 win at Utah. The 27th of October saw a 5-4 win versus the Ottawa Senators, and most recently, the 28th saw a 5-2 loss at Chicago, and then on 30th, a 5-2 loss versus Tampa Bay. So back-to-back 5-2 losses on home ice. Kokkonen recently picked up off of waivers, got the start, took the loss for the Colorado Avalanche in that most recent game versus Tampa Bay. 16 out of 20 was his stat line. When it comes to the rankings and the numbers between these two clubs meeting up for the first time this year, the Predators at 2.40 goals per game is 30th rated in the NHL. The Colorado Avalanche at 3.45 are rated 12th. Goals against 3.60 is 26th for the Nashville Predators. 4.18 is dead last, 32nd for the Colorado Avalanche. I told you they had a really, really rough start to the season, but they've started to even things out as of late. Shots for 35. The Predators still in first place overall in the NHL, and that's statistical metric. In the shots for category, the Colorado Avalanche 30.8 is 12th best. In the shots against category, 28.3 by the Nashville Predators is 10th, while 25.6 for Denver is 3rd best in the NHL. When it comes to special teams, the power play for the Colorado Avalanche also very, very good. 35.1% is their conversion rate. That's 3rd best in the league. They've converted 13 times on 37 power play opportunities. While the Predators, 19.4% is reasonable. It's in the middle of the pack. It's right there at 17th in the NHL. 7 conversions on 36 opportunities. When it comes to the penalty kill, though, that's where the Nashville Predators are certainly been their prize spot in the first 10 games of the season. 93.3% kill rate, 1st overall in the league. Only 2 power play goals against so far this season, and they have faced off against the Edmonton Oilers 2 times in that stretch. 73.3% is the kill rate for the Colorado Avalanche, 26th overall in the league. 8 power play goals given up by the Colorado Avalanche. The Predators are dealing with one injury. Mark Jankowski missed the most recent game and is listed as day-to-day. When it comes to individual players and statistics, every team has lots of high-profile leaders. So let's talk about the top 5 scorers for each of these teams. And wow, the Colorado Avalanche are just jumping off the stats page. Makar at 4 goals and 15 assists for 19 points. 19 points in 11 games for a defenseman. Makar, obviously, off to a great start this season. McKinnon, one of the most lethal Pred killers out there. 5 goals, 13 assists for 18 points on the season. Mikko Rantanen usually chips in with that as well. 4 goals, 11 assists for 15 points on the season. Mittelstadt, 6 and 7 for 13. What a great addition for the Colorado Avalanche. And then we see down at the bottom, Colton, 8 and 1 for 9 points overall. Over on the Predator side of things, Philip Forsberg continues leading the way. 5 goals, 4 assists for 9 total points. That 5 goals represents tops on the Nashville Predators. Fallen behind the point per game pace, but only by 1. O'Reilly, 3 and 5 for 8 total points. Jonathan Marchessault, 2 goals and 4 assists for 6 points. Brady Shea, 2 goals and 4 assists for 6 points. And Gus Nyquist, 3 goals and 2 assists for 5 points. That rounds out your top 5 scorers for each of these teams. Now your goaltending potential matchup. Kokkonen just getting picked up off of waivers on October the 11th. His first game didn't go that great against Tampa Bay, but considering the goaltending problems that the Colorado Avalanche have had this season, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another opportunity to get back in net. Historically, he's played pretty decently against the Predators in his career. So far for the Colorado Avalanche, he's got a record of 0-1, 4.12, 800 save percentage, but again, only picked up off of waivers on the 11th of October and a 1-game sample size at this point, but that may go a long way to helping the Colorado Avalanche turn their goaltending situation around. Now, for the Predators, UC Saros, it's a good thing October is over because this is another typical October stat line for UC Saros. He is always a slow starter in October. It's amazing. He ends up finding himself usually around the top 5 for finalists for Vezina at the end of each season. Just imagine if he could get his first month of the season. If he could get October under wraps, he'd probably win the Vezina easily. He would. 2-5-1 is his record for October. That's not good enough. 3.04 goals against average. I'm always going to criticize a goals against over 3. And 8.96 save percentage. I'm always going to criticize the save percentage under 9. That is not NHL acceptable numbers. The bare minimum for NHL quality numbers in net is a goals against average of -3 has save percentage of above 9. So UC Saros, again, there's no reason to get too worked up about it because the facts are he's going to rebound, recover, and probably have a great November, December, and beyond until the end of the season. He'll find himself in conversation for the Vezina yet again. So that's going to get you all set up for this Nashville Predators team hosting the Colorado Avalanche, and then another quick turnaround Monday hosting LA. So Preds got to be aware of the situation against the Colorado Avalanche. They also need to come away with a win on home ice, only 2-5 at Bridgestone Arena. It is certainly not the impenetrable Fort Bridgestone that people remember from previous seasons. That's got you set. Now let's go and take a look back. It's time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We've got to go back to Bridgestone Arena. We got to check out the Preds versus the Edmonton Oilers right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to October 31st of the year 2024 when the Nashville Predators were welcoming in the Edmonton Oilers. Head coach Andrew Renegades deploys his line combination and his defensive pairings in the following way. Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Marchessault, Stamkos, Sissons, and Nyquist, Parsonen, Novak, Evangelista, LaRue, McCarron, and Smith. It is Jankowski that is out day to day, so Parsonen gets an opportunity to get back in the lineup. Shea and Yossi, Luzon and Carrier, Delgado and Shen make up your defense pairing, and UC Saros gets the start in net. We are just 19 seconds into the first period, and UC Saros coming with a save on Leon Draisaitl. It is the first shot on goal of the game, and it is, as always, a sign of things to come. 37 seconds into the first period, it's Victor Arvidsson. Yes, that Victor Arvidsson, RV Hustle himself, picking up his first goal of the season. Draisaitl set it up and made it look easy for the back post slam by Victor Arvidsson. The Oilers swarming on the first shift of the game, just dominating the play and taking a 1-0 lead. 2:20 into the first period, it's Ryan O'Reilly off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking. Our first special team scenario of the game goes in favor of the Edmonton Oilers, but Nugent Hopkins will pick up a penalty. 2 minutes for hooking. That's going to send us to a 4-on-4. Once we're wrapped up with the 4-on-4 and the Predators pick up a brief power play, Pickard will make a save on Philip Forsberg, but then Philip Forsberg will pick up his 5th goal of the season. A wrist shot snipe puts the Nashville Predators on the board for the first time, tying the game up at 1 apiece. At 5:19 of the first period, things start to settle down just a little bit. Saros comes up with a save on Matthias. That comes with 6:37 of the first period. Pickard comes up with a save on Brady Shea, but at 9:54 of the first period, it's Corey Perry. Yes, indeed, Corey Perry with the 2nd goal of the season as he cuts to the slot and slides the puck in. A lack of challenge by the Nashville Predators defense allows the Edmonton Oilers to pick up their 2nd goal of this first period. They now lead 2-1. 11:09 of the first period, it's Pickard coming with a save on Marcher. So at the 12:46 mark of the first period, it's Pickard coming with a save on the captain, Roman Yossi. At 15:15 of the first period, it's Smith versus Emberson. 5 minutes each, a solid bout, both players exchanging blows, and the fight lasting longer than your typical cliche NHL fight. 16:30 of the first period, UC Saros coming with a save on Victor Arvidsson. 17:39, Saros another save, this time on Darnell Nurse. So it seems like the Edmonton Oilers picking up the momentum off of the Smith versus Emberson fight. 19:13, Kulak hits the post, and the Predators get to intermission down just 2-1. They are being outshot by the Edmonton Oilers 15-10 after the first 20 minutes. We go to the clean sheet of the second period. We are 1 minute and 36 seconds in, and it's Pickard coming with the save on Parsonen. 3:16 of the second period. Now UC Saros comes with the save on Brown at the 6:44 mark of the second. It's Nurse off the box. 2 minutes for tripping on Luke Evangelista. Luke Evangelista being very noticeable and earning a power play for his Nashville Predators team. So the Preds back on the power play, and Pickard Pickard coming up with a save on Steven Stamkos, but that would be all for that Nashville Predators power play. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. We're at 9:03 of the second period now. That's where we find Draisaitl pick up his 7th goal of the season. How does this guy squeak behind the D so easily and beat UC Saros? He does it because, well, it's against the Nashville Predators. He's the greatest Pred killer of all time. Patrick Sharp, you're officially relieved of duties. Leon Draisaitl takes the title by a long shot. Edmonton Oilers lead 3-1 right here in the second period. 10:42 now of the second. UC Saros coming with a save on Darnell Nurse. 12:11 mark of the second period. Now past the halfway point of this game. Pickard comes with a save on Luke Evangelista. Then 12:44. Pickard comes with a save on the Captain Roman Yossi's long shot from straight away, and it was heavy. 92 miles an hour is what they clocked it out there on the broadcast. So Pickard coming up with a big save on Roman Yossi. It would be a number of saves on Yossi over a couple of minutes here in the second period. 14:29 mark at the second is Pickard coming with a save on Colton Sisson. 17:14. Pickard another save on Del Gaizo. So the Predators trying to generate that offense, but not able to crack through Pickard. 18:49. Janmark off the box. 2 minutes. Puck over the glass. The Preds pressure, forcing the Oilers to take a penalty right here. Pickard would come with a save on Steven Stamkos before we hit the end of the second period. The Predators add 9 more shots to their total, go to 19 after 2 periods, but find themselves down 3-1 with 20 minutes to go. But they do have a carryover of 49 seconds on the power play into the third period. Pickard would come with a save on Philip Forsberg. Back to even strength hockey at 1:36 of the third period. It's Draisaitl striking again, now for his 8th goal of the season. This puts the Oilers ahead 4-1, just a minute, 36 seconds into the third period. The 2:44 mark of the third period. Marchessault hits the post. The Nashville Predators an opportunity to get back in it, but they could not right there. 4:04 of the third period. It is Luzon getting knocked out by Podkolzin. This fight was over after one big haymaker. They each get 5 minutes in the box, but Jeremy Luzon definitely feeling it a lot more. That was a tough bout on the home rink in front of the home crowd. Quiet few minutes. We've hit the midway point of the third period now. 10:06 of the third. Pickard comes up with a save on Del Gaizo. Then 11:16. Pickard comes up with a save on Jonathan Marchessault. At the 12:46 mark of the third period, it's Hyman with his first goal of the season. You've got to be kidding me. If you need your first goal this season, as you know, the cliche goes, dial it up against the Nashville Predators. Also, if you've got a backup goaltender that needs to have a big outing and a big game, go ahead and schedule that one against the Nashville Predators. Checking off the bingo card for all of their cliches in this game. Hyman's first of the season was a stretch pass, and it beat the D. Partial breakaway. Hyman takes advantage of the opportunity and cashes in on it, making the score 5-1 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. Carrying on, 13:31. I sure am carrying on. 13:31 now of the third period. Pickard comes up with a save on Marchessault. So 16:34. Pickard comes up with a save on O'Reilly. Really good scoring chance by the Predators here late in the third period. O'Reilly always bringing the competitive jam, even in a 5-1 game. 18:19 of the third period. UC Saros comes up with a save on Philp in his first NHL game, and that would do it for this game at Bridgestone Arena. The Edmonton Oilers pick up the 5-1 victory in their second victory at Bridgestone Arena already this season. They do outshoot the Nashville Predators by a total of 29-27. So we talked about that in the preview of this game. The Edmonton Oilers, one of the best in the league at limiting shots on goal, and the Predators only getting 27 when the Preds had been first in shots on goal for the entirety of the season, up there in the high 30s. While the Nashville Predators fall 5-1 and fall to the Edmonton Oilers in shots on goal. It just goes to show you how much the Oilers really control this game. The Preds had their opportunities, but they simply were not able to really generate enough offense to get back in. Pounced on by the Oilers on the first shift. A 5-1 score certainly doesn't make it look good for this Preds team, dropping another one on home ice. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We've got analysis, box score, and so much more coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. There's honestly not a whole lot of analysis because I don't want to get myself too worked up over this one. So let's start where we always do. Let's start net with UC Saros. It was 24 out of 29, gave up 5 goals against, and we just discussed it during the preview of this next game against the Colorado Avalanche that UC Saros has put up a typical UC Saros October with a 2-5-1 record, a 3.04 goals against, an 8.96 save percentage in this game, giving up 5 goals against. Listen, he wasn't all that good, but you know what? How can you even ask him to put up a reasonable performance when the team in front of him is so awful and they allow players like Leon Draisaitl to just come in unchallenged, or they allow Corey Perry to cut across the slot unchallenged? Corey Perry should have been made to look even uglier in this scenario. Somebody should have put a shoulder into him. Somebody should have done something. So how can UC Saros put up a big-time goaltending performance when the team in front of him is playing putrid in their own end? The team in front was awful. He wasn't great. 5 goals against is terrible. Philip Forsberg did score a goal in this game. There's a bright spot. 4 shots on goal. It was unassisted, too. On the power play, unassisted. 4 shots on goal, 20.07 time on ice. It was a pretty good shot. You got to give Philip Forsberg credit for that. That's one of those things that you'll never tire of seeing. Philip Forsberg continues leading the Predators in goals with 5 now on the season. He continues pretty much on that same consistency he was on all of last year. He did dip below a point per game, I think 2 or 3 different times last season. He has done that now, so I expect Philip Forsberg to get things going in a more positive direction soon. But that goal right there, his 5th of the season, that was an impressive wrist shot, and also a power play goal for this Nashville Predators team, which is power play is 17th overall in the NHL. Marchessault, 5 shots on goal in this game, 5 hits, signs of a competitor, even in a game that's a blowout. 5-1 is a blowout. It was 4-1 for a large portion of the way. The 5th goal came in the middle of the 3rd period there, but in a 5-1 game, Marchessault is out there still giving. He's still working hard, and that's good to see. And that's the kind of thing you'll see the return on investment down the road a little bit. When the Predators start going better, Marchessault is going to be a big reason for that. Marchessault, O'Reilly, they continue working out there game in and game out. Now, there's really nothing else to talk about as far as the Predators analysis goes. So I wanted to bring up Leon Draisaitl. He is the Pred killer. Whoever, it doesn't matter what list you had in the past. Patrick Sharp was certainly on that list for many years. Well, Patrick Sharp, you've officially been relieved of your duties as the Pred killer. Leon Draisaitl. This is why in the preview and the last episode, when we were talking about the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid returning to Edmonton, being out with an injury, you didn't hear me try to utilize that as a strong point as why the Predators might be more competitive, have a better chance to win, or even secure 2 points against the Edmonton Oilers. Why is that? Because while McDavid has certainly killed the Predators throughout his career, he's killed every team throughout his career, Leon Draisaitl seems to have a particular joy in taking the Predators out, especially at Bridgestone Arena. Every time he plays the Predators, 2-3 points just seems like you could just drop them right on the box score and just get it over with. But Draisaitl is the Pred killer. He did it again last night and just executing at an incredibly high level. The Predators tried to be physical with him a couple of different times. They tried to put the body on, didn't slow him down for but a second. Gets right back up, gets in the play, and comes away with a couple more goals against the Predators in this one. And that point just led me to thinking about, because I wanted to end this on some sort of positive, find something. I just wrote, I miss the Pekka Rinne dominant era for Nashville. Remember how much fun it was when we were all joking about how the Predators owned the Edmonton Oilers, and a certain Ultimate Predator kept changing the Wikipedia page for the Edmonton Oilers to say the Predators own them, Pekka Rinne owned them. Shoo, that was a fun couple of seasons for Predators fans. You knew the pendulum would eventually swing back, and when McDavid and Draisaitl are on the other team, that's an entire generation of a pendulum swing in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. The Predators might be the worst matchup that they currently have in hockey. The Preds struggle against this Oilers team. One time, a certain victory and an easy victory for the big netminder Pekka. Now, almost a guarantee that Draisaitl is going to come and just put a knife through the Predators at Bridgestone Arena and do it as many times as he feels like. But I miss the Pekka era. That was a lot of fun times to be covering Predators Oilers. Those games were very stress-free. Not anymore. If the Preds end up in a 7-game series somehow against this Edmonton Oilers team, it's concerning to even think about it, so I don't want to. Let's wrap up the analysis right there. I'm glad we could at least laugh a little bit about this because this game was no laughing matter. Let's hear from our good friend Stripe Digital Solutions. Let's reveal all with the box score and the good cold hard numbers. And let's close out this ugly show and this ugly episode about this ugly game. Let's do it next on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business. And that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in. Good cold hard numbers. There's the box score. Philip Forsberg, the only goal scorer for the Nashville Predators, an unassisted goal, so zeros all the way down the assist column, unfortunately, for the Nashville Predators. In the shots on goal, I did find a couple of interesting things for a game where the Predators did not generate nearly the volume of shots that they had in previous game. It was still Marchessault putting up 5, and then Forsberg with 4. Yossi also with 4. Seemed like Yossi had about 10 shot attempts at this, but not all of those clearly counted here. Mark Del Gaizo also with 3 shots on goal. Good stuff right there. In the block shots category, Luke Schenn had 3. Roman Josi had 2. A couple of ones spattered across the way, but not much happening right there. The physical component of things is where I kind of made a few more circles than anywhere else. Thought the Preds were physically trying to impose their will against the Edmonton Oilers, but when Draisaitl just picks himself up after an absolutely crushing open ice hit, gets right back in the play, and then puts a few points on the board, it didn't seem to make a difference. But Marchessault did lead the way with 5 total hits in this game. Cole Smith had 4. Also Luke Schenn with 4. 3 from Brady Shea, 3 from Luzon, and 3 from Coltonson. So again, I thought the Preds' physical approach to the Edmonton Oilers was a decent attempt at it, but it didn't slow them down at all. And at the end of the night, 5-1, it doesn't look like you are very physical or very anything against the Edmonton Oilers. All right, let's talk about your time on ice leaders. Philip Forsberg is your top time on ice leader for the forwards at 20:07, 19:45 for Steven Stamkos, 18:21 for Jonathan Marchessault. Can't help but note that Michael McCarron only skated 6:23 in this game. Now, Michael McCarron had a shift. We were just talking about Leon Draisaitl extensively, where McCarron just straight fell down and let Draisaitl, not let him, but Draisaitl just walked right on by him, skated in for an easy goal. That was the last time Michael McCarron saw the ice in this game, and I know that Andrew Burnett really liked what Michael McCarron brought to the ice last season, but after 10 games and the Preds being as unbalanced and performing as poorly as they are, that situation, I think, is changing right now as we speak. 6:23 in total time on ice for Michael McCarron, and still a -2 in just those 6 minutes and 23 seconds. Back to the time on ice leaders down on the defensive side of things, 21-26 for Roman Josi, 21-30 for Brady Shea. So Brady Shea leads the Predators in total time on ice in this game. How unusual not to see Roman Josi at the top. The power play for the Preds was 1 for 3 in this game. Power play time on ice leaders led by Philip Forsberg, your goal scorer, 4:01, and then 3:51 for Stamkos, 3:49 for Jonathan March. So 4 minutes even for the captain, Roman Josi, your penalty kill, number 1 penalty kill unit in the league. 1 for 1, perfect again in this game. 1 minute and 10 seconds off shorthanded time is what the Predators faced in this game. And all four of their penalty killers skated exactly the same. So it was Nyquist and Sissons, Carrier and Luzon, and they did a perfect job shutting it down, that one power play for the Edmonton Oilers. In net, UC Saros 24 out of 29, 5 goals against an in-game save percentage of .828. Not good enough. 23 even strength save, no power play saves, 1 short-handed save. Other numbers falling out of the box score. The power play was 1 for 3. The PK was 1 for 1. The face-off winning percentage, sub 50% for the first time in a while. They were down at 50% even last game, and now they've trended down to 46%. Got to get that going back in a positive direction. Only 11 blocked shots in this game. Not very much. 30 hits. Again, a good physical approach, but it didn't work. 5 takeaways, 9 giveaways, still on the underside of the takeaway giveaway battle, and that's never where you want to see your team. It's just not where you want to be. Recklessness, carelessness with possession of the puck leads to you losing games. And let's just close it out right here. That's it for the box score. What else do you want me to try to squeeze out of it? There's nothing else in there. That was an ugly game. And for the Nashville Predators, after 10 games, again, I go back to my stoner math, that's an eighth of the season. The Nashville Predators need to start making some changes. They need to start looking in the mirror. I'm not 100% sure what it is. They came into the season adding talent to a team that squeaked into the playoffs last season, and high-end talent with the quotation of proven winners around them. I never should Barry Trotz have started using that phrase, because when you start talking about how players are winners and then your team comes out and goes 3-6-1 in the first 10 games, you're putting yourself under unnecessary and undue pressure. So for the Nashville Predators, I think Michael McCarron needs to sit out the next game. I think it's pretty obvious that Andrew Burnett was trending in that direction. Honestly, I think that Cole Smith should be reevaluated as well. I think that all of the combinations should be reevaluated after 10 games. I think every team should do that. After 10 games, 10-game size, you should be able to look and see, how are my trios doing? How is each line doing? How is their chemistry? What is their production? What can I do to make adjustments? Andrew Burnett and the coaching staff have to sit down and seriously think about making changes. Just bumping Nyquist off the top line down to the second line and Marchessault up to the first line, what did that fix? It didn't fix anything. Parson getting back in the lineup because of the Jankowski injury. It's good to see Parson back out there, but what happened to the youth movement? What happened to the young guys getting the opportunity? Why are the veterans like McCarron, and again, maybe that's shifting as we're speaking, but why are the veterans on this team getting the old Barry Trotz discount? They're getting the benefit of the doubt. They're getting more ice time than they probably deserve. And the young guys like Evangelista, who are out there making a difference. It's good to see Evangelista's ice time back up from 10 minutes to 15 in this game. He's been highly noticeable the last 2 games, but he's barely getting his regular shifts. LaRue is playing excellent on the fourth line. Maybe LaRue needs better line mates on the fourth line. Maybe he needs an opportunity to jump up and play on a better line with better players. He's bringing an impact in his first few games in the NHL. Whatever it is for the Predators, Andrew Burnett, coaching staff, they need to close the door. They need to make some good, hard decisions. And in the next game against the Colorado Avalanche, I'd like to see some adjustments to the lineup. I'd like to see Michael McCarron not be a part of the lineup at all. There are better options. I understand he had decent production last season, but so far he's off to one of the worst starts he could possibly be off to, and getting benched after just 6.5 minutes last night, you could tell that he is just about done. By the way, no other Nashville Predator was under 10 minutes in time on ice, just to show you how Michael McCarron, who is physically willing to engage, and a game that was being played pretty tough out there and the score was getting a little out of hand, Michael McCarron still didn't have a chance to see the ice. So while he was a good producer last year, or decent producer at least, he's not been so this year. Neither has, frankly, anyone else on the fourth line. LaRue could have the opportunity to be more productive, but he's being held back by the center that's next to him. That's going to do it for Operation number 921. It was an ugly game. It's been an ugly show, but it's also in the books. This is what we do. We get in the trenches and we grind them out. No matter the score, no matter the scenario, no matter the situation, we get in here, we bring you the analysis, we bring you the numbers, and we bring you some good old opinion with it as well. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Op 921 is in the books. We'll be back in the bunker over the weekend. Weird schedule, Saturday, Monday. Also, I will be in Clarksville with the Red River Spartans versus the Metro Jets for a 3-game series beginning Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. Then Renegades Puck Hockey Club are back on the ice Sunday night over here in Antioch. That game is at 11 o'clock. So, everybody, a lot of hockey coming in the next couple of days. Hope you are safe. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you had a good Halloween. Watch out for that clock thing when you got to turn the clock back. Make sure you get all that right over the weekend. That's going to do it for this episode. I appreciate your viewership. Appreciate your time. The most important thing of all that I always say is I appreciate each and every one of you out there. I'm your host, Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.